Have you ever witnessed a moment so powerful, so surreal, that it felt like the world itself stopped breathing? What if I told you that on one unforgettable night in Los Angeles, a single pitch thrown by BTS's Taehyung V himself sent shockwaves through millions of hearts across the globe? Before we dive into this once-in-a-lifetime story, I have just one small request. If you're an ARMY, if you're a dreamer, or if you simply believe in moments that bring us together, hit that subscribe button right now. Because this is not just a story about baseball or even about BTS. This is a story about courage, connection, and history being written right before our eyes. The anticipation. The sun was beginning to set over Los Angeles. Golden streaks of light spilled across Dodger Stadium, painting the sky with a kind of beauty that only nature could prepare for such a night. But even the sunset couldn't outshine the excitement bubbling inside every seat of that massive stadium. They just any Dodgers game. This was the Dodgers game. Because tonight, the first pitch wasn't going to be thrown by a player, a coach, or a celebrity just passing through. No, tonight the mound belonged to Taehyung. ARMY had known for weeks. The whispers spread like wildfire, rumors turning into confirmation, confirmation turning into tickets selling out faster than hotcakes. Fans flew from Korea, Japan, the Philippines, Mexico, the UK, and every corner of America just to catch a glimpse of him. Some had camped outside the stadium since dawn, holding banners that shimmered under the California sun. Can you imagine the feeling? The kind of restless butterflies in your stomach, knowing you're about to see someone who isn't just an idol, but a piece of your soul? Every fan in that stadium carried a memory. A lyric Taehyung once sang that healed them, a smile that lifted them through a dark night, a fan cam that made them fall in love with life again. And here he was, about to walk onto the field of one of the most legendary baseball teams in the world. The announcer's voice boomed through the stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, from BTS, Taehyung. And just like that, the crowd erupted. Taehyung's entrance. The sound was deafening. It wasn't just cheers, it was thunder. Thousands of voices screaming his name, chanting V, V, V. As if the syllables themselves carried magic. Taehyung stepped out from the dugout, dressed in the crisp Dodgers jersey, number 7 shining proudly on his back. A Dodgers cap tilted low, but not low enough to hide that signature smile. The kind of smile that could stop wars and heal hearts. For a moment he paused. And if you look closely at the fan cam, you'll notice something. His hand pressed lightly over his stomach, not out of pain but out of nerves. Because even someone like Taehyung, who's performed in sold-out stadiums, who's sung in front of millions, knows that stepping onto a pitcher's mound in America's biggest baseball stadium feels different. You could almost hear his thoughts. Don't trip. Don't miss. Don't let them down. But then, as he lifted his head and saw the sea of purple banners waving across the stands, something shifted. His shoulders relaxed. His stride grew confident. He looked straight into the crowd and suddenly, it wasn't about baseball anymore. It was about connection. Every step he took toward the mound felt like a bridge between worlds, between Korea and America, between music and sports, between idols and fans. The crowd's roar. If you were in that crowd, you'd remember it forever. The screams weren't just loud, they were alive. Fans clutched their phones, trying to capture every second. Some were crying already, even before he threw the pitch. Imagine that, tears streaming down your face, simply because your idol exists in front of you, breathing the same air. One ARMY, caught on the fan cam mic, could be heard whispering through sobs. He's real. Oh my God, he's actually real. Another fan shouted, Taehyung, you got this. We love you. And for a brief moment, It felt like Taehyung could hear every single one of them. Like every heartbeat in the stadium synced with his. The pitch. The stadium hushed. The kind of silence that only comes before history. Taehyung adjusted his cap. He took the baseball into his right hand, feeling its weight, its rough stitches pressing against his fingertips. He took a deep breath. And then he wound up. Time slowed. The ball left his hand, slicing through the air, spinning toward home plate. The crowd held their breath. And then pop. The catcher's mitt snapped shut. The pitch was clean, straight, strong. The kind of pitch you'd expect from someone who had practiced for this very moment, but also carried the blessing of fate itself. The stadium exploded. Cheers, screams, chants, an earthquake of love. Dodger Stadium shook not because of baseball, but because of BTS. Because of Taehyung. And in that moment, Taehyung did something so very him. He laughed. That deep, boxy smile lit up his face. His shoulders shaking with relief and joy. He bowed politely, waved at the crowd, and mouthed a small, almost shy, "Thank you." Chapter: The Aftermath. What happened next was pure magic. The players clapped. The announcers laughed in awe, one of them saying, "Wow! Dodger Stadium has never sounded like this before." Fans in the stands couldn't stop chanting his name. Videos spread across Twitter, Instagram, TikTok within seconds. Hashtags like #Taehyung First Pitch and #DodgerV trended worldwide. But beyond the noise of social media, something deeper lingered in the air. Because this wasn't just about a pitch. It wasn't about baseball or even about celebrity appearances. This was about a boy from Daegu, South Korea, who once dreamed of being a saxophonist, who once thought he might never be noticed. Now standing on the pitcher's mound of one of the most iconic stadiums in America, cheered on by tens of thousands. That is history. That is destiny. Reflection. Let's pause for a second. Why does this matter so much? Why do we cry watching a fan cam of a man throwing a baseball? It's because moments like these remind us of something powerful. That dreams are real. That a kid who once lived on a farm, who auditioned almost by chance, who worried if he'd ever fit in, can now stand in front of the world as one of its brightest stars. Taehyung's pitch wasn't just for the Dodgers. It wasn't just for Army. It was for every single person who ever doubted themselves, who ever thought, "People like me don't get moments like that." 'Cause yes, you do. And yes, you can. Motivational ending. So let me ask you this, dear listener. What is your first pitch? Maybe it's not on a baseball field. Maybe it's walking into your first job interview. Maybe it's posting your first YouTube video. Maybe it's confessing your feelings to someone you love. Whatever it is, remember Taehyung's smile. Remember his nerves turning into courage. His fear turning into history. If he can do it, so can you. And when your moment comes, don't hesitate. Step forward, take a breath, and throw your pitch with everything you have. Because history isn't written by the perfect. It's written by the brave. And tonight, Kim Taehyung reminded us of that. Sparkles, if this story touched your heart, make sure to subscribe. Because here we don't just talk about events. We live them. Together.